13th.
Gators in a straight man-to-man defense. A lot of help defense from Florida. One of the things that Billy Donovan has been able and successfully done well is put together a defense where guys are helping each other. Their defensive numbers are outstanding within the league.
Smith at the elbow off the back of the iron. Rebound to Yeget. Prather inside. Playing at such a high level with so much confidence. Prather averaging 18.5 a game, 7th best total in the league.
Tell me a player in the Southeastern Conference has increased his game better and been, I mean, just over the top, so much better than anybody else in this conference. He has been terrific.
Patrick Young getting the net untangled.
Prather averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds last year, and he's 18 and 6 this year.
His confidence level is so high. Different player. It just looks like he's more aggressive with the basketball. I think last year, you know, just trying to find his way offensively a little bit. Not this year.
Florida immediately with that full-court pressure. Savannah State's got a lot of very quick guards. Basically have a 4-guard lineup out there right now.
Richard to the floater. That's no good. Patrick Young comes away with a rebound. There's a takeaway by the Tigers. That shot is blocked. Good hustle on the other side from Michael Frazier as he swats it away from Hall.
I think Terrell Hall got a little bit shocked. He got this ball, and he looked over his shoulder, thought he had plenty of room, and he didn't. Good defensive play.
Well, Giles Smith off the inbounds, able to get the layup.
Savannah State has a pretty good press of their own. They worked on this diligently in practice last night.
Tapped around right into the hands of the Tigers. Here comes Hall back the other way. This Savannah State team, not a big lineup. Feature a 6'9" post player. And Giles Smith, but only 215. He's having to match up with Patrick Young at 6'9", 240. Sadiq Muhammad couldn't hold on to it. Here's Prather back the other way. Get it inside to Patrick Young. He lays it up and in.
You know, oftentimes when you try to attempt to get a steal, if you miss, you're going to get burned. That time, Champagne couldn't quite get there. Left Patrick Young wide open.
Gives Florida a chance to set up this pressure defense. Savannah State will back it out. Alante Finner. Now Richards thought about the three, gets it inside. Here's Smith tied up.
Gators in his own defense right now. 2-3 matchup.
Smith flashes, won't go. Frazier the rebound. Off to Wilbekin. Patrick Young on the block. Faces up, spins. Throws it up off the window. Might have forced that one a bit.
That's a pretty good defensive job that time by Giles Smith. Held his ground, didn't take any of the pump fakes, and he gave him about 3, and he just stayed right on the floor.
Here's Hall. Shot clock tips under 10. 5 on the shot clock. Nowhere to go. Alante Finner, shot clock violation. Well, let's take a look at our forward keys to the game. Let's start with Savannah State.
Well, as you watch this basketball game unfold, there are a couple of things you're going to have to watch for. One is Savannah State's pressure defense. They want to force turnovers against Florida. That will be hard to do. For the Gators, they have been raining threes all season. They're shooting 37%. They're among the leaders in teams in that category within the SEC. And Billy Donovan's got a pretty good shooting club right here, led by the guy that we're going to see a little bit later on in Casey Hill, who can really shoot it. Outstanding long-range shooter.
Casey Hill will check in. He wears number 0, the freshman. Off to Prather. There's a foul. That'll go against White.
Savannah State foul is on number 2. His first.
Go back and take a look again. Florida's offense stopped at midcourt, just simply trying to avoid the leap.
Kyrie White, the senior out of Columbus, Georgia, picks up the first foul.
Savannah State back in their own zone defense right now, 2-3. They also are matching up out of this.
Michael Frazier, the second, who's first in the conference in three-point shooting at 49%, knocks down his 28th of the year.
I'll tell you what, they got some guys who can shoot the three this year, and he is the leader.
He is now at 50%, 28 out of 56. And the Gators lead it by 5, our first time out of the
Michael Frazier, as you indicated, #1 in the conference. 64% of his shots are threes.
Well, when you're making them at a 50% clip, why not?
I would be shooting 100%. In fact, if I were Billy Donovan, I'd say, you go right ahead, Michael. Just shoot it wherever you want out there. But he's another guy that's really picked up his game this year.
There are 5 Gators that average double figures. Talk about good balance. Florida has it. Williams checks into the game, along with Wilson. There's Williams, baseline. Little layup won't go. That rebound slapped around, and Joshua Montgomery with a good hustle.
On the alternating possession,
Jump ball, and Savannah State will retain possession. Patrick Young back into the game. And that'll give Michael Frazier a little bit of a break.
Interesting that the Gators go man-to-man on the out-of-bounds play. You usually see that in reverse. Teams will zone out-of-bounds plays.
Nowhere to go. I'll have to back it out to White. Shot clock at 10 again. The offensive foul, yeah. Moving screen. Kip Kissinger out on the perimeter. There's a look at Forrest Broadnex. Those that have followed college basketball remember Coach. He's a great player for John Thompson on those teams back in 84, 85 that went to the championship game. Won it in 84, lost it in 85.
In fact, that 85 championship game was played in Lexington. That's when the Big East was the Big East. They had 3 teams in the Final Four.
Patrick Young.
You throw up St. John's, Villanova, and Georgetown back at that time. Oof. Were those 3 good teams? Wow.
Is that the Ed Pinckney Villanova team?
Mm-hmm.
Chris Mullen, St. John's?
Yeah.
Patrick Ewing.
That's exactly right. Here, I thought you were a youngster.
I hate it. Once again, shot clock goes under 10 for Savannah State. Boy, they've had a tough time scoring points all year, averaging just 61 a game. Long 3 at the shot clock horn. They'll say shot clock violation. That is the second time this afternoon the Tigers have been hit with a violation.
You know, Dave, what you're witnessing here is exactly what Florida has been doing all season long. Their opponents are averaging 61 points a game. That's best in the SEC, 18th best in the country. They just don't allow you to get in position to get a shot. They've always got a hand in their face, good foot movement. They've always got their hands extended, ready to guard, and they have good help on defense. Solid club on the D end.
Casey Hill will run the point, the freshman. 24 assists, 10 turnovers. Dorian Finney-Smith fouled in the lane. He'll have a chance for a 3-point opportunity.
What a nice pickup by the Gators to go out and get Dorian Finney-Smith, who was a transfer from Virginia Tech. This guy is really solid on both ends of the court. Watch this maneuver. A little crossover dribble, a stop and pop about 8 feet out. Right in front of the rim, he's got a chance for a three-point play.
Leads this team in rebounds, a little over 7 a game. You see his point total, just shy of 11.
Also for the Tigers, number 30, Jeremiah Hill.
Got his first start against Fresno State in the last game that the Gators played before they took the Christmas break.
Can't complete the three-point opportunity. It's still an 11-2 Florida lead. It's a 9-0 Gator run.
Savannah State just having difficulty even putting the ball on the floor.
Shot clock at 5. White takes it inside and travel with the basketball, and that'll give it back to Florida. There were 3 seconds on the shot clock, and the last field goal for Savannah State was at the 18:33 mark. A little over 5 minutes off the clock since their first basket, only basket of the game.
Gators worked on a lot in practice yesterday, but one of the things that they did to start the practice was they worked on their perimeter defense, handling screens and making sure that they were switching or fighting over and doing it the right way.
Devin Walker out of the corner, the sophomore out of Winter Haven, Florida. Knocks down just his 5th three of the season. It's a 14-2 Florida lead. Make it 14-5. The spot up 3 from Devin Williams goes down. He's their best three-point shooter, 25 of those on the year.
Double figures in 8 of the 12 games that Savannah State has played.
Patrick Young traveled with it. Patrick says, that's my move, man. I may have walked, but that's my move. Come on.
I got to tell you something. I went back and looked up at some of his numbers the last couple of years. You talk about consistency. He has averaged 10 points and 6 rebounds his sophomore year, his junior year, and he's doing it again this year.
Well, look this way. You know what you're going to get with Patrick Young.
You're going to get 10 and 6.
Right. And you're going to get a guy that works his tail off. Williams.
He's a great enforcer, Dave, in the middle.
He can change things, no question about it. Shot clock once again hits 10. Well, here's the guy you want with it, the three-point shooter, Devin Williams. See if he can get a little bit of room. He'll pull up inside the arc. That'll be a shot clock violation. That is number 3. And that'll take us to our under 12 media timeout. 11:57 to go in the opening half. It's all Florida.
Still smoking up a storm?
Yeah, pathetic.
But one other thing about Patrick Young that a lot of people don't know, he's been a 2-time SEC Academic Scholar Athlete of the Year for basketball. He has been outstanding in the classroom as well, and you watch him work at practice. I mean, he goes 100 miles an hour no matter what he does.
You know what? If you're a basketball coach, those are the kind of guys you want to recruit. I mean, not only the fact that he's big, 6'9" and 240, but also that he's a good student. He's a leader. Everybody on this club looks to him. And if they don't look to him, he makes them look to him.
I tried that in my house. Didn't work so well. Finney-Smith, good up and under move. Can he complete it? Yes, he can. His second basket.
Finney-Smith doing very, very well. Number 10 in the conference in rebounding. The only bad game he's had all season long was that game in Connecticut. He had 6 turnovers in that game, but he has been a great pickup for Billy Donovan and the Gators.
Little fall back off the iron. Rebound to Frazier. Boy, Florida's forced 5 turnovers. They have 12 points off those turnovers. Their defense has yielded just 5 points. Patrick Young in the paint. Little jump hook. Too strong. Finney-Smith with the rebound and a foul on the floor. That'll go against Hall.
Savannah State foul is on number 22,
Terrell Hall is going to pick up that foul.
team foul. Substitution.
Hall has started every game for Savannah State this year. That maneuver that he had right there, that's what you do when you're 6'1", going up against a guy 6'8". You just grab him and hold on to him. Don't let him go anywhere.
Off the inbounds pass. Turnover taken by Savannah State. And a tripping foul that'll go against Casey Prather.
Florida foul is on number 24.
You know, as we talk about Florida, and I've been around, you and I have done a lot of games here in the early part of the schedule, and whether it's an SEC team, ACC, Big Ten, whatever the league we've done, I don't know that I've seen a roster feature so many prevalent seniors that play so many minutes as Florida.
Dave, I couldn't agree with you more. I think this might be the most experienced team. It certainly is in the SEC. And maybe in the country. I mean, he's got so many quality seniors to play. Young, you get Wilbekin, Prather.
Young. Out of the corner, nice shot from Alante Finner. 16-7 our tally. His first points. Will you get? We'll get it around to Frazier. He fires again. Boy, that barely moved the net. Timeout taken by Savannah State.
30-second timeout, Savannah State.
It is now 19-7.
Davis talked about this, and I will just back him up and tell you that there's not many people in this country that can shoot the three better than that guy, Michael Frazier, in his sophomore year out of Tampa, Florida. Gators have lost 2 games this year, one of them against Wisconsin, the other one in Connecticut. Frazier had 20 points, 5 of 7 threes against a really good defensive club in Wisconsin.
Frazier, though, had that 4-point outing against Fresno State, 1 of 5 from the floor. So, you know, he's been chomping at the bit since pre-Christmas to get back on the court. So far, paying off with 6 points, a couple of rebounds. Florida has hit 3 out of 4 from behind the arc to start this game, and 8 out of 12 overall. You know, it's amazing. Florida's shooting 37%, third best behind the arc. Third best number in the SEC, but shooting only 45% as a team from the field overall. That is 10th. Usually this team is in the top 1, 2, or 3 in overall field goal percentage.
Yeah. They're very near the top in three-point shooting. Arkansas leads the conference, but they're only a few tenths of a percent ahead of Florida.
Here's Finner with the basketball. And we'll say offensive foul, the arm out against Finner. We'll give it back to Florida.
That's a good call.
You know, the way the game's being called now, you've got to get your hands off the guys on the perimeter. You can't allow the offensive guy to stick the arm out anymore.
Well, I was talking the other day to a coach, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I'll remember in a minute. But one of the things he told me was we used to teach defense about telling the guys to keep their hands in between their shoulders and defend that way, because if you put your hands on the player, it was okay. Now they tell them to show their hands. Get their hands outside their shoulders to make sure the referees can see it. That's a big change, Dave.
Nearly a takeaway. Wilbekin, though, gets it back. Here's Scotty in the corner. Scotty averaging 12 points a game. A little careless with the basketball. Are the Gators on this trip down? Foul on the floor before the block with 6 on the shot clock. That'll be team foul number 6 against Savannah State.
State foul is on number 15, Peter Richards. His first 6th team foul.
A couple of things about Savannah State. The fact that they are 2-10 right now, and as I have said on a couple of occasions, you and I have discussed this, there are certain teams in this country that have to earn money for their athletic department. That's what Savannah State is doing right now. The November-December tour that they're taking, they're playing some high-profile teams. They're picking up checks to help their athletic department, but it's also a basketball team that I think really is going to get better as the season goes on, particularly when they get into their conference play. They had 2 good back-to-back years for them.
They won 19 games last year. 11-5 in the MEAC. They actually won the MEAC 2 years ago. 21-7 now. And a traveling violation by Richards. We'll give it back to Florida. Casey Hill will replace Frazier.
Substitution for Florida, number 0, Casey Hill.
Finney Smith. Wilbekin trying to find some point production. Well, that won't go, but Finney Smith, that's the second time he's come out of nowhere for the offensive rebound. Still on the floor. Casey Hill will back it out, and the Gators will get a fresh shot clock.
Dave, I love those guys that rebound out of their area. I mean, they go to the other side of the lane, or maybe they go to the free throw line, but they make ways to get to the ball.
That's a tough shot by Uget. You don't see a 12-foot fadeaway jump hook much anymore.
Uget not really known for his offensive proficiency, as you well know. A terrific defender and rebounder, though.
Only 10 shots in the game for Savannah State as the shot clock hits 4 again. 2 on the shot clock. 1, and that one does hit the iron, and a rebound by Uget. Keep it in bounds, and the Gators off and running. Here's Wilbekin. Casey Hill spinning in the lane and a bump. So timeout on the floor, 7:07 to go, first half.
Let's go back and take a look at the offensive rebounding by Florida. Once again, you can see down inside, Finney Smith grabbing it, puts it up, gets it blocked, goes back.
Phil, hope he had a good holiday.
Florida will shoot the bonus.
Got some curly locks there, huh?
Something tells me
At the line,
that man might have needed some Gatorade the way he's probably been working. No school, up at 6 in the morning, playing with the toys, wearing his dad out.
Sounds like you've been there.
I'm the one who needs the Gatorade. Casey Hill steps to the free throw line. He is a 69% foul shooter on the year, 16 out of 23. You know, he got a lot of, you talked earlier about the injuries and the suspensions really helped Florida's. Wilbekin lines it up. That won't go. You know, I think Casey Hill's one of those guys that got a lot of minutes early on in some big environments. And you can't really replace that kind of experience. And then as soon as they get Wilbekin back, then Casey Hill goes out with an ankle injury. It wasn't until Kansas that he got back on the floor and could play with Wilbekin. But even then, it was his first. He only had 1 practice under his belt. So in terms of teamwork and practicing together, the last 10 days have been very, very important for Billy Donovan.
Yeah, it's helped this club because eventually Hill and Wilbekin and Frazier are going to be the guards. The guys are going to be out front running this club.
Here's Smith, defended by Patrick Young. Here's White. Hill, shot clock again under 10. Hill, baseline jumper, no good. Rebound to Wilbekin. Gators off and running.
I'm going to say one thing. Savannah State's been getting back on defense pretty well, but the Gators have not been able to get any easy layups on the break.
And Smith trips up Patrick Young on the way to the basket. 1-and-1 situation now for Patrick Young, but just a 55% foul shooter on the year.
Let's go back and take a look again. You can see Florida on their offense right here. A nice maneuver, a turn by Young trying to make it to the baseline and got tripped up and has a chance for some free throws. It's one of the areas where he really needs to work diligently and improve is his free throw shooting. Dave, I wanted to tell you that yesterday while I was at Florida's practice, Billy Donovan stopped practice and said, all right, everybody head to their respective spots. And they sent them off into some other gyms and just the practice facility. They each shot 100 free throws. Obviously, I walked out to go watch another game and then came back in to watch practice after that.
Hill, deep three, no good. Muhammad battling Young for the rebound. Loose ball, and they'll say tie-up arrow will favor Florida.
On the alternating possession, Florida
You know what? I think Patrick Young got his hand caught in there, and he couldn't get it out. There's a reason they got a tie-up. Watch this again. He's got his hand in there. He can't get his hand out of the way, and obviously watching, it was kind of funny. Muhammad was trying to pull the ball away from him.
Wilbekin off to Young. He'll try the little 17-footer and knock it down. 25-7. Florida shooting 58%. 6 points now for Patrick Young. He is 6 away from 1,000 in his career. Something tells me he might get it today. Well, there have been some sizable scoring droughts for Savannah State in this one.
Nice job by Ugat to step in and get that pass.
Here's Hill. Here's Young. Left a little bit shy. Good box out by Muhammad. Been over 5.5 minutes now since Savannah State has scored, and that'll go over the top of the backcourt.
Florida basketball. Substitution for Savannah State, number 10, Patrick Young.
And Dave, there are lots of components that go into making a good defensive team, but one of the things that I think is really important is being in position to defend. That's one thing that Florida does really well. It's not just the guy with the ball, but even the guys off of the ball. They're always looking to help, and they're in great position defensively. And that guy is pretty good offensively.
Scotty Wilbekin knocks down the three. His first basket. 4:35 to go before halftime. That'll be Florida basketball. Another turnover by Savannah State. That'll be their 10th turnover of the game. 10 turnovers. They're shooting 21%. They're stuck right now on 7 points.
Number 11, Stephen Wilson. And number 1, Monte Fenner.
Here comes the full court pressure again by Savannah State. Stephen Wilson out there. I think they're trying to slow down Casey Hall. That's or Hill. That's hard to do.
Gators have already hit 4 threes here in the opening half. Hill takes it inside. 21-point lead by Florida. They can build on that here after the turnover. Alley-oop to Young.
One of the few times that Florida's been able to get a basket on a break. Well done. Good grab up top by Patrick Young.
Will belong to Savannah State, but that'll happen when we come back. 3:35 to go in the first half. It's all Florida. One of the few breakouts by the Gators from Patrick Young. Now with 8 in the game, Florida leads it 30-7. Question of the afternoon, the Gators have 15 20-win seasons in a row. Who has the longest after streak of 20-plus wins in the country? Think about it. We'll give you the answer in a moment. On the shot clock, little dump down. First layup won't go, and the ball falls into the hands of Devin Walker. Florida on a 14-0 run over the last 6:45. And they'll say offensive foul. We'll go the other way with it.
Florida penalties on number 20, Michael Frazier.
It's pretty good defensive work. Patrick Henley for Savannah State getting in position to draw that charge, the senior out of Orange Park, Florida. Savannah State's got a number of Florida players on their roster. I think I counted 5 guys on their roster. Well, good help by Yaget that time. He cut off that cut to the basket.
As they tie up, Savannah State will retain possession. 13 on the shot clock.
Savannah State basketball.
See, there's a situation. I mean, I'm going to get back on my soapbox. I do this about every other year. When the defensive team makes a good play like that, I think you ought to have a jump ball. I mean, Florida did a nice job defensively that time, and now the offense is going to get the ball back, and I'm talking about Savannah State. Part of the reason they went away from it, I heard from so many coaches, they said the referees couldn't throw it up. I said, come on, give me a break. Are you kidding? Yes, they can.
Savannah State's been without a point for the last 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Offensive foul. That'll go against Sadiq Muhammad.
A little bit of a flop there. I didn't think the contact was that much.
Substitution for Savannah State, number 44, Giles Smith.
Take the 2 off the board. If you're wondering about fewest points and a half, the record is 5. It was a couple of years ago, and you and I were debating. We think it was Cal.
It was Cal in the tournament that they play over the holiday season down in Orlando. Mike Montgomery, I can still see the anguish on his face sitting on that bench. He had some great comments afterwards, too. He said, well, what are you going to do? He did everything we could possibly do. We just scored 5 points. Nice pass. Oh, that was nicely done. Stephen Wilson with a nice pass. Good finish, too. Giles Smith getting up and getting it in. And finally, the Tigers got off of that number 7.
Savannah State foul was number 20, Devin Williams.
So Williams will pick up that foul. And that will send Hill to the free throw line. That is 10 team fouls now against Savannah State. So the double bonus for Florida for the final 2:01 here of the first half. Let's revisit our Toyota trivia question. 15 20-plus win seasons for Florida. Who has the longest active streak of 20-plus wins in the country? Kansas. 24 consecutive years. They have won 20-plus games. That's an incredible run. Wilson, high-arching shot, no good. Tapped around and loose ball. It'll belong to Savannah State. 1:45 to go before the break. You know, what Billy Donovan has done here at Florida is remarkable. 18 years as the Gators head coach, 3 Final Fours, 2 titles, 31 NCAA victories in the tournament, 5 SEC regular season crowns. I mean, you look at the all-time wins at an SEC school, and he's 3rd behind Rupp and Dale Brown, 2 legends.
And, I mean, you're going back talking about a number of years back, but the last 3, he has made the Elite 8 the last 3 seasons. Just 1 win away from getting into the Final Four again. He's got a chance with this club, Dave.
2 losses to UConn and Wisconsin, 2 pretty good teams, and they weren't even a full, healthy complement of players.
Well, they beat a good Kansas team who I thought was off that night. I mean, they had 24 turnovers, but Florida forced a lot of those turnovers. This Kansas team is pretty solid, and they beat a good Memphis team in New York.
Here's Wilson. Driving around that Florida defense and gets the layup. Boy, Hill could just fly down the court. Here's Kurtz, the former team manager who walked on as a player. Has played every game this year, has Jacob Kurtz.
He's got a great nickname. They call him Jake the Snake. He got a lot of minutes early.
Played in every game, played some valuable minutes. Matter of fact, he was a guy pretty much against Florida State when things weren't going well. He had some great baskets and some big plays and helped lift this Florida team over their rivals. Long three. That's off the side of the rim. There's Kurtz with a block out, allowing Wilbekin to get the basketball. Florida getting a little sloppy here in the final minute and a half of the first half. Shooting 54%. They've held Savannah State to 26%. There's about 3 seconds separating the game and the shot clock. Wilson going baseline. Taken away by Kurtz. Up ahead to Wilbekin. Off the Hill.
Nice.
Reverse layup is good. That's how you run a break.
You're going to see a lot of that this year. Wilbekin and Hill.
At the horn, no good. So a good finish for the Florida Gators. After 20 minutes of play, the Gators lead it by 23. They hold Savannah State to 11 points in the first half. They had a 5-minute and 46-second drought, and then an 8-minute and 4-second drought. And the Gators went on a 12-0 run and a 14-0 run, and all told, the Doak board says Florida 34, Savannah State 11. We'll come back with our halftime activities from the O-Dome. Stay with us. 7 a game. That is 5th, actually tied for 4th in the league with Jordan McCray. But Jordan Clarkson of Missouri had another good game yesterday, leading the charge at 20 points per game so far.
I think Randall would have been up there. He had 17 in the first half yesterday. He didn't play most of that second half against Louisville with some cramps in his legs.
Wilbekin first shot out of the locker room is a 3, top of the key. 6 now for Scotty.
Florida opens up in their man-to-man defense. They started the first half like this. Savannah State had difficulty even getting a shot off.
And a foul against the Gators. That'll go against Michael Frazier. That'll be number 2 on Michael. And that'll send Smith to the free throw line. Giles Smith, 50% foul shooter on the year.
A pretty good start to the year. He's got 31 blocks on the season. More as a defensive player than anything else. He came in averaging 8 points and 7 rebounds. Part of his problem he's had so far this season, he has fouled out of 3 games. And he kind of hovers around that 3 to 4 or 5 fouls almost every game.
Gets them both. Looks like a pretty good foul shooter, but only 50% before those 2 makes. That's tapped out of bounds. Smith should have let that go, but didn't know what was behind him. Florida will inbound it. Patrick Young slides past his defender and lays it in.
That's a little inattention to detail right there. Lante Fenner was the only guy that was close to getting him, and he made a swipe at the ball. They're going to knock the ball out of Patrick Young's hands, not in that position.
Turnover. Up ahead, Prather. He lost the handle. Stolen away nicely by Savannah State. Hall gets it over to Williams. This little floater's nice.
Nice maneuver. A little ball fake from about 22 feet. Nobody bit, so he just put it on the floor, went to the right. A couple of dribbles and got it up with a nice short-range jumper.
5 points for Williams.
Good screen and roll that time by Patrick Young. Savannah State collapsed around him so they couldn't make the pass on his cut.
Leggett fouled on the way to the basket by Muhammad. He'll step to the free throw line.
Savannah State fouls on number 4, Sadiq Muhammad, his second.
That'll be his second, and Leggett at the free throw line this year, 64%. Larry talked about the only guy not in double figures in that starting lineup, but he gives you so many other things besides points. And when he went down last year with banged up a little bit, just a huge void for Florida.
Well, Dave, he had off-season knee surgery, too. I mean, before he got back here and ready to go. Watching him play in the early part of this season, he is back to playing the way he did when he was a sophomore and a junior, or freshman and sophomore. Senior year last year. As you indicated, they missed him terribly. And they only got to the Elite Eight. So. Casey Prather. Not only is he good offensively, I mean defensively, he's pretty tough too. Hard to get around him.
Nowhere to go. Loose ball, and last touch by Savannah State. It belongs to Florida.
Yeah, Dave, even when you make that penetration move, as Savannah State did that time, did you see the convergence of all those Florida players around the ball? It just made it so difficult to make the pass. There was nowhere to go with the ball. Watch this now. You'll see 4 Gators right there, really all 5 of them right there, probably within about 10 feet of the ball. Hard to try to get the ball out of there when you're pinned in underneath that net.
Seems to be some kind of scoring issue. Anthony Jordan with the scorebook in his hands.
Did they get a technical foul?
An administrative technical foul has been issued to Savannah State. At the line for Florida, Michael Frazier.
So a player who might not have been listed in the official scorebook entered the game, and I can't determine who didn't make the official scorebook. And that's exactly what it was. A player wasn't on the official book that checked into the game. Hutchins, number 34, wasn't listed. He checked in a moment ago, and thus the technical foul. Don't see that very often. Don't know that I've ever seen that.
You know what? I haven't seen it in several years now. I have seen it in a game. I know you've seen it too. But it's been a long time since I've seen one of those. I love the term, administrative technical.
And they will say offensive foul. Savannah State will head back the other way.
Quarterback Prather may have, well, I don't know about that one. It's so rare to see a charging foul anymore. When I see one, I almost sit up and, what was that on?
We've actually had a couple of charging calls today.
Yeah, we have.
Administrative technicals. We've had 3 shot clock violations. We've seen all kinds of stuff today. Loose ball on the baseline, and Williams comes out of there with it. Can't get the shot away. Wilbekin back the other way. Off to Prather, middle of the floor. Goes with the left hand a little too strong. There's Leggett. Fouled after the shot was blocked. And some free throws coming up for Will Leggett.
His first, second team foul.
One of the things I like about point guards, when they're in the open court, how they make their decisions. Did you see Wilbekin that time looking to his left as he's going down that right side? And he looked up, and Prather was streaking down the middle of the court, and he knew exactly when to throw the ball and exactly where to throw it. put it in his hand. Prather just a little overextended trying to get that ball up with his left hand.
Again, misfires on the free throw. Will, a 64% foul shooter. Now 2 out of 3 today. Frazier to the bench. Patrick Young to the bench. And that one rattles home. So Prather, Hill, Wilbekin, you get Finney Smith on the floor for the Gators. 16:48 to go. Second half basketball. There's Finney Smith, the team's leading rebounder, over 7 a game. Grabs that one off the iron. Prather bumped on the way up, and that won't go, but he'll add to the free throw line. And that'll be the 13th foul against Savannah State.
13th foul. At the line, Casey Prather. 2 shots.
He's been to the line 74 times. More than anybody else on this team. I mean, a lot more. The second most free throw attempts for Florida is Patrick Young at 47. To give you an idea. He shoots a good number at 75% as you get. Takes a seat. Florida 7 out of 12 at the line today. State back down the floor in a hurry. That's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Florida.
Substitution for number 25, Logan Walker.
So Walker checks in. Prather to the bench.
That's got to be a walk, yeah. And once again, good position by Florida. You know, defensively, you just line up, and if the guy's got the ball or if he doesn't have the ball, you know exactly how to play him. Florida's doing that well against the Savannah State team today. Good position defense.
Here's Hill. Kicks it out to the corner. Walker, that won't go. Rebound yanked out of there by Giles Smith. Smith has 4 rebounds today. Savannah State with 15 points, 16 turnovers. Not a good combination. Here's Walker.
Good screen by Young. Tried to slip it, couldn't. You know, sometimes guys use those screens. I'm talking about the guy with the ball. Sometimes they make the pass.
Wilbekin elevates and knocks down the 3. And Scotty has 9 on 3 threes.
Boy, he had a super game against Kansas. And he played about as well as he can possibly play. Pretty good maneuver by Devin Williams.
Devin's been their offense. Boy, big block shot by Smith, their best shot blocker. Devin Williams has been most of the offense so far for Savannah State with 7 in the game. But Florida in control, 14:59. Brought to you by Blimpie and by Toyota. Back at the O-Dome. O'Connell Center here in Gainesville, Florida, where the Gators rank 13th in the country. They have won 3 straight games, including 21 straight in this building, which is 3 off tying the school record. Looks like they might push it to 22. 14:57 to go here in the contest. Gators shooting 54%. 3 by Hill off the mark. Finney Smith trying to save it, couldn't do it. It'll belong to Savannah State. The Tigers shooting 28%. They've been held to 17 points. 13 of those come from the combination of Williams and Smith.
You know, Dave, you were talking earlier about the distribution of points that Florida has is It's very equitable. I mean, they got 5 guys averaging double figures. They're well on their way to getting those 5 guys back in double figures again here today.
Nice look inside to Smith. Got the friendly roll here at the O-Dome. Got that to go down. So Smith now with 8 in the game. He is 3 out of 6 from the field. Finney Smith in traffic, drew the contact. He'll step to the free throw line. And that foul will go against Smith. That'll be his second. Oh, they'll call it on Hutchins, not 34 instead of 44.
If you're going to get assessed a technical foul, you might as well get in there and get your name in there, not just for the technical foul. Maybe really commit a foul.
Well, that hit every part of the cylinder before it dropped through. Dorian Finney-Smith, a 69% foul shooter on the year, averaging almost 11 points a game. Out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Gets 1 out of 2. Free throws have not been kind to Florida this afternoon.
It's one of the reasons why he asked every player yesterday to shoot 100 free throws. They ranked 8th in the conference, so they're in the middle of the pack when it comes to free throw shooting.
Little floater in the lane, no good. Rebound to Patrick Young. Patrick Young 2 points away from reaching 1,000 for his career. That ball was well short by Finney-Smith. Arching 3, no good. Tapped around. Here comes Hill the other way. And a foul on Hutchins. That'll be his second, and free throws coming up for Florida.
And Hill's a jet, isn't he? I mean, he gets the ball and he's down the floor in a hurry. If you play with a guy like that, you got to get yourself in position to receive a basketball from him. Lost a little bit of the control of it right there, regained it, and finally got it back in. And got it into the hands of Finney-Smith and gets him to the free throw line again.
Dorian knocks down the front end. Again takes a seat. Prather comes back into the game. Casey Prather, the team's leading scorer, stuck on 4 points, averaging 18.5 a game.
I will say one thing. Finney-Smith has got maybe the loudest pair of shoes I have seen all season long. I mean, those are really loud. Not something you'd wear?
No, something the kids might wear, though. Cost me an arm and a leg.
Here he is going down there. Look at those shoes.
Look this way. You know where he is on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Prather gets it to Frazier. Around the perimeter, Hill. Walker. Bottom of the net for Frazier. And for Frazier, he now has 3 threes in the game, 3 out of 4 and 11 points.
Defense by Florida. They just do not allow anybody to get into that lane. Good block.
Up ahead now to Walker. There's Hill. Loose ball, and it falls right into the hands of Casey Prather.
How about the save by Hill? He's showing the ill effects of that ankle problem he had earlier that caused him to miss 4 games. He did tweak a little bit against Fresno State last game.
Timeout taken by Horace Broadnex for Savannah State. So we'll step assessment of players. Billy Donovan telling us today at shoot-around that there was a time earlier this year when he only could practice 6 scholarship guys. That's all he had available. They had just kind of piecemeal to scrimmage together, using managers, walk-ons, anybody else that was around the gym. Not the case now. He's got full complement of players, and the last 10 days, 2 weeks, Gators have really been able to work on their craft. And that'll take us to our official under-12 media timeout. So we'll step aside for a moment. Great teams against top 15 teams, UConn, Kansas, Memphis, and they won 2 out of 3 of that game. And remember, early on, they were handcuffed with a lack of players.
Dave, we mentioned this at the top of the show, the fact that I thought that they lined up and played the best non-conference schedule of anybody in the Southeastern Conference.
Nice work by Savannah State. Got that basket to go down. Give the credit to Joshua Montgomery, the senior out of Smyrna, Georgia, with his first points.
Kier Richards made a nice pass underneath.
Hill to Finney Smith. Left it short. I think he couldn't decide whether he wanted to dunk it or lay it in. Pick one.
Savannah State foul is number 4.
A little indecisive moment right here. He's in position to do just about anything he wants with the basketball. Shoots it short instead of putting it on the glass or dunking it or whatever it was he wanted to do. It didn't come out right.
Free throws 18 and 19 coming up for Florida. Savannah State's only been to the line twice. Eight points now for Finney Smith. And a foul underneath, and Sadiq Muhammad will head to the free throw line.
Nice slip of the screen that time by Muhammad to get inside. Kier Richards delivered a nice pass. Muhammad not in position to finish it off, but he did get fouled. Sadiq out of Savannah, went to Johnson High School there in Savannah. Over the years, I'm going to tell you, Savannah, Georgia turns out some really good basketball players.
Decided to stay home, did Sadiq, recruited by Wisconsin, Boston College, VCU, among other schools. Yeah. 56-22. Gators out in front. They've been in control since the opening tap. The alley-oop underneath. That works perfectly to Casey Prather.
Finney Smith with the perfect pass. Florida hitting on all cylinders today.
Jumper off the mark. Here's Muhammad in the paint.
You know, Dave, one of the things I like about this Florida team, and this is going to sound strange to you, but they don't commit a lot of fouls. I mean, they only commit 16 fouls a game, and that is not a lot.
That is the fewest number in the SEC, Larry. Well, here's a look at our high-speed break brought to you by Charter High-Speed Internet. And it doesn't get much better than that. Great pass from Dorian Finney-Smith to Casey Prather.
You're just seeing part of Prather's skills today. His defensive work, his passing, his ability to leap, to rebound, to pass, and put the ball right where he wants to do. He's terrific with the ball. I mean, he does so many things defensively. He's one of the best help guys, I think, on defense in this league.
And a foul against Yaget.
Florida foul is on number 15.
He was hanging on to Joshua Montgomery. And that'll send Montgomery to the free throw line.
Yaget reached up and tried to pull him down on the floor with him. Said, you're not going to shoot that, but we got it off. He did shoot it.
Montgomery, he'll shoot 2. Substitutions for Savannah State number 2, Kyrie White. And for Florida, number 4, Patrick Young.
You know, oftentimes when you sit down and you look at a basketball team playing the November-December schedule, there really is very little you can take away from most of the games that they play in November-December because of the soft teams that they load themselves up with. And I just mentioned the fact that I thought Florida played maybe the best non-conference schedule, at least from the quality of the competition that they faced of anybody in the league. So how do you measure a team that doesn't line up and play tough teams every night? Well, you look at what they've got to offer. And I think Florida has a lot to offer. They've got strong people inside like Patrick Young right there. They've got Yaget, who's a strong rebounder and defender on the inside. They've got excellent three-point shooters. I mean, you got Frazier and Wilbekin who can absolutely bury it out there pretty consistently. You got a pretty good guard in Casey Hill who gives you a little bit of everything. I think their bench could be a little bit better. I'm not sure their bench is up to what it needs to be right now. They need to find another player that can come off of that bench and maybe give them 15 to 18 minutes and 6 to 8 points. But they've got all of the makings of a really solid basketball team.
Well, Larry, if he makes this free throw, Patrick Young will have 1,000 career points, and the crowd knows it. He knows it. And he'll have to wait. Patrick Young with a smile on his face as he heads back the other way. He'd rather get 1,000 on a throwdown off an alley-oop, I think, probably. That's probably why he missed that.
You know, he will be the 50th player to get 1,000 points in Gator history.
Montgomery, there's a three. That's off the mark. There's a rebound to Patrick Young.
You think they're going to keep feeding him? Oh, yeah.
Prather into the lane. His layup is good. 10 points for Prather. Baseline jumper knocked down by Kier Richards. His first basket. Hill got himself pinned underneath the basket. Gators shooting 55%. Savannah State sitting at 27%. Hill back the other way. Into the lane. And a foul. Free throws coming up for him. But they will occur after the timeouts. Gators on cruise control. 63-26.
Good help at the end. Once again, look at the position. It's terrific. Michael Frazier doing a nice job. Wilbekin doing a good job. There's Young again, keeping him away from the lane. This is terrific coverage on the ball and also handling the screen. They're doing a good job with it defensively, something they worked on yesterday, particularly that high ball screen.
Well, that's why it's our direct auto insurance coverage of the game. It's funny how that works. Casey Hill to the free throw line. Casey in this one, 4 points, 5 assists, but he's just 1 of 5 from the field. Now 0 for 2, 2 out of 4 at the free throw line. Gators 12 out of 23 at the line. And got that one to go.
Number 25, Devon Walker.
So Devon Walker on the floor.
You know, oftentimes when you've got a problem, the coach will go out and make some adjustments. Free throw shooting, you can't do anything but just put the ball in the hands of the guy who's walking the line to shoot them. And you're right. I mean, Florida has struggled with the free throw shooting, not only in this game, but so far this season. They came in shooting 67%. They're probably down around, maybe 66, 65 now. That's not what you need to do if you're going to be one of the top clubs in the country.
Wilbekin off to Yaget. Will into the lane. Here's Prather, a little floater. That won't go. And Young with the follow and give him 1,001 points in his career. Wilbekin lines up a three off the mark. Patrick Young with the offensive rebound. Spins in the lane. His finger roll is good. 1,003 points for Patrick Young.
He started on his second 1,000. Good for him.
Here's Smith. He's got 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks. Rebound to Prather. Prather's pass stolen away. That shot is blocked out of there by Prather. Savannah State will reset it.
That's what I'm talking about. He does so many things. I mean, the ability, even though he makes a bad pass, he did get down, got back on defense, blocked the shot, kept them from making a basket.
Loose ball on the deck. Taken away by Wilbekin. And a hold foul against Smith.
Savannah State fouls number 44, 10 foul. Substitutions for Florida, number 10, ladies and gentlemen, with his 15 points today, Patrick Young has become the 50th player in Florida Gator basketball history to reach the 1,000 career point total.
Well, Dave, for a moment, I thought both benches going over there, somebody had called a timeout. No one had. The referee's trying to get everybody back on the floor. Now somebody does call a timeout, Savannah State.
30-second timeout taken by Horace Broadnick. 5:41 to go in this one. Well, so Patrick Young missed a free throw for point number 1,000. But then he answers with back-to-back field goals, and this was it. This was point 1,000 and 1,001 on the follow. Appropriate. The offensive rebound and the putback.
Something he's done a lot in his career here at Florida. A lot of offensive rebounds and a lot of stickbacks.
15 points, 6 rebounds, couple of blocks, 2 steals for Patrick. And Wilbekin to the free throw line. And Scotty trying to add to his point total. He has 9, trying to reach double figures, and he'll have to wait.
Explain to me why Wilbekin is such a poor free throw shooter.
He's 50% on the year. I have no idea.
You know what? I mean, he shoots the 3 really well. His overall shooting is pretty good, but he really struggles at the free throw line. Now, that looked good.
So Wilbekin now in double figures, but misses the front end. He'll take a seat. Casey Hill getting some work.
game where you think things begin to get sloppy. You got a 43-point game, and all of a sudden the team that's behind decides to start throwing up shots like that, and the team that's ahead starts doing things that maybe they weren't really set up to do.
Devon Walker. Off to Kurtz now. Here's Prather, spins into traffic, dumps it off to Kurtz. They left it a little bit short.
Nice maneuver that time by Prather to get the shot or get the ball down inside for the shot by Kurtz.
Muhammad. Nowhere to go. Devon Walker with that rebound. Walker all the way through and a foul on the way up. That'll go against Smith. That'll be his fourth.
Giles Smith, his fourth. At the line, Devon Walker.
Florida's got one more non-conference game before they get into the SEC wars, and that's against Richmond. They've put themselves in a really good position to start out the conference year.
Positions for Florida, number 20, Michael Frazier, and number 42, Billy Donovan. This is Memphis State number 1, Alante Feather. Number 15, Pierre Richards, and number 12, Joshua Montgomery.
I've had conversations with coaches who really enjoy this time off in the holiday season because they don't have that that rule that prevents them from 20 hours per week of practice. They're free to just work on anything, and they have their players in there all the time. And coaches take full advantage of that. No classes, no disruptions, nobody around to bother you.
Except us.
Yeah. So are you guys back again? Jeez.
Baseline jumper. That's a three. Is good from Finner. Alante Finner knocks down his fourth three of the season. Give him 5 points. Michael Frazier dumps it to Kurtz. Kicks it around to Hill. His three. Left it short. By the way, Billy Donovan in the game. Son of the coach. Getting some work. Wearing number 42.
You know, it's interesting looking at him. I was just trying to think back to the days when Billy was playing at Providence, and I did a number of his games. He has the same build as Billy had back then. Maybe a little broader in the shoulders. Tell you one thing, the first year that the three-point shot came into being, Billy Donovan took full advantage of it, and Rick Pitino, who was coaching him at Providence, was the first guy that I really thought he knows what he's doing with his three-point shot. And I mean, he turned his whole offense into that.
Hill's layup is good. Matter of fact, I asked Coach about that a while ago, about shooting. He says, I only shot it every time I felt leather. That was all. I mean, I didn't. I had to think about that for a minute. I said, so you shot it a lot then?
He did indeed. But that's what they wanted from him. I mean, he was good at it.
Finner to the lane, no good. Kurtz the rebound, and he'll start the break. Here's Donovan. Lays it up. He'll head to the free throw line. But we'll see that when we come back. The coach's son getting the shot off, just like his dad.
Career points for Patrick Young.
Nick Hubert on the call on the Gator IMG Radio Network, and that is our Regions Bank play of the game. Patrick Young enters the 1,000-point fraternity here with the Gator basketball team, and he has earned all of those points.
I think it's only appropriate that he would get it on an offensive rebound. I mean, something that he's done so well down inside, one of the best rebounders they've had the last couple of years. He goes in there and just He's a workhorse down on that block. The offensive rebound, the stick back. Good to see him today reach over 1,000 points.
So Donovan knocks down a couple of free throws. And he has doubled his point total for the year. There's 2 minutes to go in this one. Gators up by 44. Tough shot, rebound, right into the hands of Frazier.
You've had a chance to see some of the SEC teams like I have. How do you think things are shaping up as we head into the conference season?
Donovan can't get it to go. You know, I've been impressed with Missouri. I think that there were some questions about whether the Tigers had enough. Another transition, a flip of the roster, if you will. But I think that they are going to hold up with Jordan Clarkson at the point. I think he's an impressive player. Can they hold up in the middle is a question. I think Arkansas has surprised some folks. They're scoring points in bunches. Can they keep it up in league play? And I think Kentucky proved yesterday. People kind of fell off that Kentucky bandwagon. And it's hard not to. Preseason #1, people were talking 40-0, all this stuff. Listen, it's a young basketball team that lost 3 games but had a really gutsy win yesterday. I think you still got to put them in the mix. But, you know, with a healthy complement of players, I think this Florida team has every reason to believe that they could be conference champions again.
I tell you, the team that may surprise a lot of people is LSU. I think Johnny Jones has got a really solid basketball team down there. And they got like 7 guys that can play. I mean, really play.
And, you know, they're under the radar, Larry. I don't think anybody's talked a lot about them, which certainly will change in league play if they get off to a good start. And they're a very well-coached team. Johnny Jones has done a great job with that bunch in Baton Rouge.
How about the backcourt of Anthony Hickey and Andre Stringer? I mean, you won't find 2 better ones than that. And the freshman Jordan Mickey, nobody has talked about him very much. We've talked a lot about those Kentucky freshmen and some other freshmen around the league. Keep an eye on Mickey. He is having a terrific year.
Florida fouls on 42 Billy Donovan. His first 7 fouls.
Patrick Young with 15 points, 6 rebounds. He will be our Regions Bank player of the game, the big fella. 7 out of 10 from the floor. There's a couple of blocks today. Davis gets the free throw to go down. He'll take it, but as you mentioned, this Florida team will have one more non-conference game. That'll be against Richmond. They've sold a lot of tickets for that one already. That'll be on January 4th, and then it gets started. South Carolina will be here at the O-Dome to kick off the SEC slate. It's all SEC through March 16th for Florida. The Gators can hold for the final shot, for to close out the game.
Savannah State fouls on number 3, Angelo Davis. This first.
Well, it's going to give Devon Walker a chance to pick up some points here. We can make some free throws.
So Devon Walker with 8 points today. 4 Gators are in double figures. They came in with 5 averaging double figures. And he misses it, but Kurtz battling around, keeps it alive for a moment. That shot is blocked off to Kurtz, and that will do it. So the Gators win it. And they go to 10-2. Savannah State 2-11, 9 straight. 2 guys that played against each other in college with a handshake as Florida wins it 76-34 is our final score from the O'Connell Center. So for my partner Larry Collins, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Gainesville. We hope to see you down the road.